I grew up with the Nintendo Wii, and that entails owning a lot of games that I forgot about by now. The Wii had a massive library of great games, but I think a lot of them were really unremarkable. There were a lot of good games for it, but I can only remember like 4 of them off the top of my head. And so now that my capture card is working, I figured I'd share with you my experience revisiting an old friend. PokePark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure. This is a game that I played to absolute death when I was younger. It's not hard to find that this game was meant for children, so it was easy for me to grasp with my little baby hands. Every once in a while, I'd remember it existed and play it for a bit, but if memory serves, I've never actually played it all the way to the end. So come with me, idiot, as I show you what PokePark Wii is all about. Oh yeah. We open up on a sunny day in some town they forgot to put textures on to see Pikachu spending time with his friends. Piplup, Chikorita, and Charmander. They're all running around in circles and shit. I mean, they're Pokemon, what do you expect? And suddenly, they run into the mythical Pokemon Mew, who opens a portal to a mysterious land. The group, secretly happy to rid the annoying one from them, pushes Pikachu into the fiery pits of hell. And then they regret the decision and follow Pikachu into the Shadow Realm to rescue him. But like, now they're just all f***ed instead of just one of them being f***ed. There was no plan, they just jumped. Pikachu sees Mew in a vision as his life is flashing before his eyes, and Mew tells him he needs to collect the 14 prism pieces and recreate the f***ing prism thing. Pikachu wakes up in a strange land, presumably Purgatory, and meets Shadowt, the PokePark guide. I can dash, jump, do skill games to make friends, and then strike Snorlax with a Thunderbolt to get him to move out of his mother's basement. Upon leaving the intro area, we find Chikorita just hanging out with Bulbasaur. We're told that Bulbasaur can't do his attraction thing because Venusaur, the Meadow Zone's keeper, says he can't. But he'll let us play for 5 berries, this game's currency, so that's good. Good to know that's all it costs to break the law here. Here in the Meadow Zone, we're introduced to how the game do. Make friends by playing skill games and use those friends and attractions to clear them. There are 3 main skill games: Battle, Chase, and Hide and Seek. All pretty self-explanatory. Beating a Pokemon in a skill game will make them your friend, and beating them a second time will make them your best friend. There's like no functional difference between the regular friends and the best friends. I see it as more of a way to pad out playtime. Every attraction has 3 Pokemon that are best at it, so the goal is to make friends with them so you can clear each attraction easily. For example, Bulbasaur's f***ing Run is a game where you gotta f***ing run. Each attraction has a certain score or goal time that you're required to reach before you can move on, but each Pokemon also has a certain score or goal time that reflects that Pokemon's ability to complete the attraction. So a super slow Pokemon like Magikarp may not be able to clear the attraction by getting the required goal time because it's not very fast, but Jolteon has a way easier time reaching this goal because it's way faster. Each of them still has a little bonus goal time to make sure every Pokemon is worth playing as, which I think is just a really neat touch. Not every Pokemon will be able to clear the attraction, meaning there's some value in making certain friends over others before you clear the attraction. Coming back to the attractions after clearing them still has value, because you can aim to get the bonus for every single Pokemon or see how they interact with the attractions, and it's a really fast way to grind berries. I think that considering how we're talking about f***ing PokePark Wii, this whole attraction thing is really well designed. Anyway, after beating Bulbasaur's 100-yard dash, Bulbasaur hands me a prism piece. Okay, so let me get this straight. All the attraction owners have the prism pieces. Instead of asking them for the prism pieces, Mew kidnapped 4 unsuspecting Pokemon from a parallel dimension so that they can go collect the pieces for him. Okay. Trico and Mankey find out that I played Bulbasaur's attraction and get pissed. They explain that no one is allowed to play the attractions and no one is allowed to leave the Meadow Zone. So they take Chikorita hostage and then the game ends. In the post-game, I have to get the bonus in Bulbasaur's Big Bean Burrito using Turtwig in order to cross a bridge. On the other side is another bridge where I have to kill Mankey in order to pass. Now, hostage situations like this are very delicate. So I run up and slam my face into the perpetrator. Venusaur's like, oh, you gotta fucking go fight Krogunk and Spearow before I let you play my attraction. So I do that, and then I play Venusaur's attraction. In this one, you gotta swing from a rope, and in the time it took to explain it, I already cleared it. That's sort of a theme with these attractions. They serve as this game's bosses, so they end up being really anticlimactic when they take only like 3 seconds to clear. I get my second prism piece, and Venusaur gives us some plot details. Venusaur closed off the Meadow Zone to protect the Pokemon in it. You know, like a dictator. He, along with Empoleon and Blaziken, had a falling out and all closed off their zones. Apparently, me running and swinging was very persuasive and Venusaur agrees to free his hostages. So the doors open and I go off to the meeting place. You'll never fucking guess what people do there. This is sort of a hub world with gates that go to each area, but most of them are closed because of the ongoing civil war. Corfish tells me I gotta get SpongeBob back because Gyarados has decided to become the keeper of the beach zone, and that's causing some drama. I find Piplup stranded on an island somehow. She is a penguin, so I gotta recruit Bidoof to build bridges. But oh no, Carvana and Sharpedo don't want anyone building bridges. So I gotta go beat this flying game before they cave under the beauty of my capability. Developer's game is a flying game where you gotta fly into the rings and get some points, whatever, it's not hard, prison pizza chain. I bring Bidoof some lumber to bring the bridges connecting the beach zone to make it more easy to get around, which is nice. Gyarados is all like, Gyarados is never here, so now I'm the keeper and Basically, Empoleon's been locked up in his room over in the iceberg zone listening to Green Day and crying, so in his absence, Gyarados has assumed the authoritative role. But the problem is that everyone hates him because he won't let anyone build bridges. Gyarados has an attraction. Whoop-de-doo! Surfing game, Wii Wheel, Weasel, whatever. Humanity restored. Feraligatr punches a rock and Piplup finds a broken hot air balloon which she takes back to the meeting place. Lapras takes me to the iceberg zone and If it sounds like I'm getting tired of this, it's because I am. This story is so repetitive. I already played it, but even writing about it is driving me insane all over again. Alright, so Piplup is guarding the ski lift because apparently that needs to be guarded. He says I can't use it, so that's unfortunate. What is it with people in this PokePark just deliberately shutting down modes of transportation within the zones themselves? What good does that do? There are Pokemon on the other side of the ski lift who they've trapped down there for no reason! So unsuccessful, I go talk to Piloswine, who guards Empoleon's Coom room, and he tells me that Empoleon froze the door shut, but Mamoswine might be able to help bash it in. Unfortunately, Teddiursa informs me that Empoleon also froze Mamoswine alive in a cave across a lake, and Frostlass may be able to freeze the lake so I can walk over and bash Mamoswine out of there. But Frostlass isn't here right now, so I gotta help Glalie make igloos to impress her so she comes back. There's like some subtext that Glalie and Frostlass are like divorced or something? Whatever, I do the igloo thing and Frostlass appears on the other side of the ski lift. That has got to be the most inconvenient place to come ashore here. Piplup battles me for permission to activate the ski lift and I beat him on the first try. I go down there and Frostlass wants me to battle her for no reason, so I do that and she goes and freezes over the lake. I bash Mamoswine out of his icy prison and like the Captain America he now is, he breaks down the door into Empoleon's lair. I finally reached him. His attraction is about snowboarding, and honestly, it's my favorite in the game. It's really neat, and as a kid, I thought it was the coolest shit. I beat it, and world peace is achieved. Prison peace get. Next is the cavern zone. I'll save you some time. Someone stole a piece of the railroad because apparently that's a thing people do here. So I go to the railroad piece and repair the railroad. Bastodon's attraction is Pong. Prison peace achieved. Onto the lava zone I go. I repair a drill by fighting a guy because apparently that's a thing that can happen. I make a lever and a top and play Rhyperior's Beyblade game. Ever heard of Street Smash? Yeah. Prison peace achieved. I find Charmander and he's like, let's fight. So I'm like, okay. So I go up the way and find Blaziken, who's all like, I can't believe Venusaur and Empoleon are doing shit. Fight Charmander again. So he agrees to forfeit his dictatorial power if I play his stupid cannon attraction. This is the worst attraction in the game. It's just baseball if baseball was less based. He gives me a prison piece, and the regret and pain is becoming unbearable. The Haunted Zone. I gotta play Tangrowth Swinging Bonanza or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm losing my mind. This one's just Venusaur's attraction, but actually fun. Prison piece. Drifloon opens the door to the haunted house, and this place actually has the most unique level design in the game in terms of exploration. Too bad I don't need to do any of that, because Dusknoir's spooky dash is ready. It's just Bulbasaur's attraction, but actually fun. Are you seeing a pattern here? Because if not, you will soon. I open up the lounge, fix a piano for some reason, kicked it with Pablo Picasso. Miss Magius lets me go into the library for some reason, and Duskull points out a conspicuous gap in the bookshelf. Boy, oh gee, I wonder where the book could possibly— oh, it's right there. I put the book in the book hole and open up a secret passage to Rotom's shoot game. Probably the most unique attraction out of all of them, although not really very fun. Chaos Emerald achieved. Back to the meeting place and shit's f***ed. So Granados lets me go into the Granite Zone. Get this! it's actually remotely interesting. It's got the most interesting geometry in the entire game and makes for a platforming experience that I feel like the rest of the game tried to have. Flagon's all like, you gotta find the 3 secret words, so I do that, making a quick trip back to the cavern zone to get the final word. What, you don't think this is a true open world game? Literally 2 missions connecting the zones isn't enough for you? Fuck off, you should be grateful Game Freak even bothered to spit on your face. After getting the 3 words, it's on to the next zone. Ah shit, I forgot the attractions. Absol's Jumpy Jumper Time! Literally the same thing as Dusknoir's Spooky Dash, except this time you gotta jump over the barriers instead of crashing into them like the Kool-Aid Man. Salamance's Serbian War Crimes. It's just Pelipper's attraction, but you gotta shoot the targets instead of flying through them. But also, flying through them still gives you points. This is getting ridiculous. After completing these unforgiving trials, it is time I finally reach Nirvana, the Flower Zone. Shaymin tells me they would like to help, but the mirror they need to help is currently off the fucking radar for no reason. Like, they just fucking lost it. I don't know what to tell you. Turns out it's conveniently in the meeting place, so I grab it and bring it back up. He was really great with his puzzles, you know? Returning the mirror to the pedestal summons Rayquaza, and he's like, do my attraction, bitch. Rayquaza's waste of time is a culmination of all the attractions thus far. It is virtually impossible to not get a good score on. You gotta run across a giant Rayquaza balloon, the egotist, while jumping over enemy Pokemon and collecting rings for points. It all ends in a shootout, and then for a finale, Rayquaza gives you a prison piece. Alright, the game's almost over. Piplup has repaired the hot air balloon. Did I tell you it was broken? It was broken. Now that I finally have all the prison pieces, I can make my way to the Sky Pavilion and return things to the thing. Mew's all like, mew, 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 and then challenges me to a series of skill games. First is a game of cheesy. Insane. First is a game of chase. Easy. Second, a platforming challenge that I definitely didn't fail at a lot more times than was probably warranted. Finally, 3 battles in a row, serving as a final boss. It was easy. Now that I am Mew's friend, I can restore the PokePark to its former glory. Now that was a really long post-game. This is definitely a kid's game. It's easy, marketable, and most importantly, not very well designed. I know it's a common response to things like this to say, oh, it's just a kid's game. It can't be held up to the same standards as normal video games. But I think this claim is incredibly vapid, because it excuses basically any criticism you could possibly throw at it. Not to mention it doesn't can mean anything, because there are plenty of kids games that are absolutely wonderful. Mario Odyssey and PokePark Wii are rated the same thing. I don't understand why we don't hold them up to the same standards. With that said, this is... it's not a good open world game. The entire time I played through this, I always felt like there was something missing, because there was. This game lacks any interesting level design. The whole game is built around platforming and almost doesn't even realize it. Platforming challenges are in the game for sure, but they're very few and far between. Like, not even one per zone here. The skill games are begging for some design to make them each interesting. Instead, variety is scarce between Pokemon, and usually that variety is meant as a joke, like the Slowpoke that plays chase with you. Sometimes it feels like variety, like a Pokemon that will do a cool move during chase, but it's all incredibly easy to overcome. None of it requires skill. Without this interesting level design, every level is literally just a flat plane with nothing on it. The zones don't feel like distinct worlds, they feel like unique backgrounds and nothing more. I feel like I should have more to say, but I really don't. This game is boring in very uninteresting and repetitive ways, in only like a couple of ways, so I can't pad out runtime talking about them. I wanted to relive what this game was like to me as a kid, but that nostalgia is held back so much by the overwhelming sense of, well, underwhelmingness. I wanted to be like, ooh, ah, but instead I was just like, oh, such is the duality of man. This game also got a sequel, PokePark 2 Wonders Beyond. I do own it, but I didn't end up getting it until a couple of years ago, and I still haven't played it. I might get to it one day, but this game has drained pretty much all hope I had for the sequel. I got it thinking it'd be great just how I remembered the first one, but now that I remember the first one more clearly and in agonizingly boring detail, I don't know if I have the strength. One day I may do the thing, but right now, nah.